Yes, welcome back again to Spirituality with a Spin. I am Ryan Keys, your host. You can find this show on iTunes as well under Spirituality with a Spin, and here on YouTube as Upbeat Buddha. Now, if you're waiting for the video to pop up with my face on it, it's not going to happen this time. And I'll tell you why. Like in the last episode, where I talked about language, and I talked about the power of what you say, that what you speak is what you seek, and you're seeking is seeking you, and what you say makes your day. If anybody wants to send me that in a format where I can post that on social media, just put either of those and I'll post them. I like when people are involved, it's like a little homework assignment for anybody that wants to just be creative and imaginative. Now, there's a lot of things that are providing sources on the internet of where to go, what to do, how to do it. But the main thing is will you? Will you? Now, that term, will, we are so self-reliant on willpower, not even understanding that it is only a quarter of the limitation that we have as a being. Our will is conscious. Now, our subconscious manifests things also. And it manifests things as we move forward without even us knowing. We've talked about this in the course of learning language, learning what we say, and the power of that spoken word, which is why there's no video today. So I encourage you to plug in your headphones or your earbuds, because I might get a little ASMR up in here. I might get a little bit of, you hear me over here, or you hear me over here. You just never know how it's going to go down. This is going to be unpredictable. This is about passion. This is about magic. This is about madness. This is about understanding the new dynamics, the new paradigm shifts that are happening right under your feet. So many of us have been going through a shift. I myself as well. I try not to hide it. I'm going to begin to unfold many aspects about my own vulnerability, my own self, my own place of service, and what I have been doing and how I do it. And when I feel that I'm failing or falling, when I hit rock bottom, I'm going to begin to share some of that information, because that's part of the path of self-intimacy. You see, self-intimacy, not to be corny, but intimacy, it is. I think that if we begin to understand that our vessel, our body, is like a pitcher, that holds water, a clear glass pitcher. And there's water in there. It's either full to the brim and running over and being poured into consistently, or it's halfway full and we're trying to conserve it and hold on to it because it's not being filled up. And we're functionally stopped, and we're in a state of stagnancy. Now, many of us don't have a clear and clean pitcher, so we can't even see the level of the water inside. We are so distracted by the external that it has put us into a place of unobservation through observation. So many people, you'll see people that looked super healthy or super wealthy or super happy, and they're sick, or they hurt themselves, or they kill themselves, or they fail and fall and they die of a drug overdose. But these people were mirrors of what we construed as they've got the magic. But what they had was madness. They were living a life that was in a constraint of consciousness. They were not appreciating the entire being. They were believing that their willpower alone would pull them through. And it is only a part of the fuel for your fire, for your engine. But, when they have, think of it like when you're heating water, like a water heater. Well, that water heater comes on and off and powers that hot water when you need it. However, at the base of that water heater, there is a pilot light that always stays lit. Very subtle, very sincere, always ready for when it's called upon to ignite the flame, to fuel the fire, to boil that water so that you can have warmth and comfort and joy. So is our subconscious, like that pilot light that sits subtly by, making sure all the processes are able to ignite and to contain the fire to move forward. But in our mind, we become so self-centered on our own willpower that we believe it to be that our conscious being, our conscious mind, our manifesting mind is the matrix manifester of all things. We believe that our conscious mind makes things happen. Law of attraction, I see my dream board, I'm manifesting. No, you're allowing the door to open so that your subconscious can see this, like training a dog, repetition, 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 reward. So your subconscious sees you repeating this, and it sees it, and it imprints in the subconscious, and the subconscious is like, yeah, I can do that. So it gears you to a state of opportunity, open doors, guiding you silently in the wings, right? Like the director off stage at a play, just subtly from the side, giving you directions to little cues. Go, and you go, and cut, and raise the curtain. All those things occurring on the sidelines is the subconscious nature. But yet we believe that we are the actor on stage, that we are under the spotlight, that we are the center of attention. And that would be our willpower, which is also engrossed in ego. The subconscious doesn't thrive in ego. That's why the subconscious can create suffering as much as success. I think it was the Jesuits that they said, if you give us a boy between 1 and 7 for 7 years, we can show you the man. Because they knew between 1 and 7 was the biggest imprintable time for the subconscious to arrange the rest of its life. And they could gear the man based on that input during those years. So ask yourself this question. When you were going through life from 1 to 8 years old, what was happening and what was going on that you can see as echoed and reflected in your life today? Maybe you got beat up. Maybe there was a bully. Maybe your dad yelled at you. Maybe you felt scared. Maybe you didn't feel loved. Maybe someone did something to you that was wrong. Did you carry those in formats? And then you finally rationalize that, wait, this shit is wrong. I've got patterns. I'm repeating patterns. I'm punishing myself. This isn't going to work. I'm going to use my willpower to work this out. And you put your place, like joining the gym on New Year's Eve. And you show up all January, you're there, you're sweating, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden you get a sore muscle or somebody says something and you don't go back. Your willpower has washed out. Because the willpower is a tad bit self-indulgent, because we believe that we have the mindset to manifest this without changing. Think of it like, it's like you went your whole day, you worked, you got dirty, you did the things of the day, and then you come in, you get in your clean bed without changing your clothes or cleaning yourself, and you get in that bed, now the bed is dirty from the day. So when you believe that your willpower is the only way to work things out, and you bring that into the subconscious just adds that dirt in on the things that you haven't covered from the subconscious. So there's a lot of things that I love that I've been getting into, like Psych K, neurolinguistic programming, EMDR, rapid eye movement therapy, emotional freedom technique through tapping, whether you're using ayahuasca or meditations, mantras, self-hypnosis, subliminal tapes. All of these things, muscle testing through Psych K, will alleviate that disconnect that you're having with your subconscious, because it allows the subconscious to participate in this newfound format of coming together, building a good, strong foundation that's based in the present, not from 0 to 7. And it's possible, just like training a dog. Repeat, 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 reward. Repeat, 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 reward. Let me do it again. Repeat, 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 reward. Plow, plant, grow. Right? That's what you do with a seed. Same thing with your subconscious. Plow, plant, grow. Plow, plant, grow. Plow, plant, grow. Repeat, 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 reward. Have you heard that enough yet? I love this. I love being so into this moment with you right now. So let's do a little exercise real quick. I'm going to count down from 10. And we're going to walk you into a place of relaxation so that you can be open, because we're going to talk about intimacy with the self. We're going to talk about emotional intimacy. Because really, self-love, when I say self-love or intimacy with myself, people think I'm thinking, oh, wow, I'm going to go in a dark room with a magazine, and there you have it. That's self-intimacy. Wrong. If you're laughing right now, I'm laughing as well. Wrong. Self-intimacy means I can see in between the lines. I can see the man that I am and the man that I truly want to be. And I can suppress that critical inner voice for a supportive inner voice. I can rebuild. I can rebuild things. I can establish that magic and that understanding from the inside out and know what it really means. What does it mean when I say the word intimacy? Intimacy has that conjecture of I'm saying something naughty. Intimacy means sex. No, it does. It can. But let's show up before we have sex, please. Always. Let's show up before we have sex. Let's show up and be centered. Let's be in the moment. Men, if you're out there and you're listening to this, I am putting together a program solely based on helping men to recover the intimacy that they need for themselves and opening up new aspects and new suggestions in interacting with women. And I think it'll be wonderful because I think that as men, we need that. And you need a man to tell you these things because if you hear it from a woman, it's going to, one, either turn you on and you're going to get distracted, or two, it's going to turn you off and you're going to put it down because you're going to feel judgment or you're going to feel arousal, right? Because that's the nature of when we start talking about certain types of intimacy and all kinds of different things of the self with the opposite sex, it tend to go that route if you are not centered. So we're going to be doing that. But let's unwind. Now I'm going to count backwards from 10. And I'm going to bring you to a place of relaxation. I want you to be in a place where you can kind of like, you don't have to close your eyes. You can just sit subtly. If you've got something else playing in the background, turn it down, right? Or pause here and come back and rejoin in. So I want you to be sitting comfortably. I want you to take in a couple of nice deep breaths. I want you to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. I want you to hold it. Breathe in for 5 seconds. And breathe out for 5 seconds. We're working on our circular breathing right now. Your breath is life. Your breath is the ink in your pen. Okay? So, as we move forward, when I get to 10, so 10, we're at 10 right now, so 10. I want you to see yourself in a place that looks very comforting to you. Put yourself into a mindset, into a place where you feel comfort, whether it's a beach, a field, a couch with a cup of hot chocolate, a library, wherever that is, where you feel comfortable as we're going forward, a place where you can visualize. I want you to see the sky or the ceiling, see where your feet are, see how you're feeling. 9. What do you hear? Let's envision some hearing. What are you hearing? Are you hearing birds, cars? Are you hearing music, waves, wind? Feel that. 8. Here I want you to understand what's going on around you. For instance, if you're in a room overlooking the ocean and the linen white curtains are blowing back and forth and you can hear the wind blowing through, maybe there's a wind chime, and you're relaxed and you're just sitting in this. 7. I want you to feel very connected to your surroundings tactically. I want you to imagine and envision what things feel like. If you're envisioning a tree in the distance, what does that tree feel like? What does the bark feel like against your fingers? If your feet are in the grass in this envisioned moment, what does it feel like when your feet are in that grass? Or if your feet are at the ocean's edge, what does it feel like when the surf washes in and the sand sinks beneath your feet? 6. You're becoming very in tune, very relaxed. Your setting, your scene is very ingrained. This is a safe place. You sense the safety here. I want you to feel safe. What does safe feel like? Is it having a blanket around you sitting by a fire? Is it having your lover hold your hand? Or perhaps it's sitting down and having a conversation with friends. 5. Now I want you to expand this bubble of safety to whatever's in the distance. Where are you at? What's your location? Are you in southern Spain? Are you in a Moroccan villa? Are you in a cabin in some type of place in Colorado? Are you on a stadium overlooking an empty track, thinking about what you're going to do in the day? 4. Now I want you to feel this warm wind, this energetic field wash over you as you're in this place, as things around you, the grass, the trees, or the sheets, the sea, start to sparkle. See sparkling in your eyes. If you want to close your eyes, this is the moment to do it. And I want you to see the vibrancy and the sparkles happening right now. Over here, you want to feel that sparkling. And over here, you want to see that glow of what's going on. 3. Now this is about you. This is about understanding who you are. This core comfort level that's inside of you. This ability to open up your mind and open up your heart and feel the beating of your heart right now in your chest. Do you feel it here? I want you to feel your heart beating. Breathing. Slowly in through the nose, out through the mouth, allowing this energetic field to increase and to go inside of you, to fill you. It's almost like you're breathing in energy coming into your nostrils, going into your depths of the bottom of your lung, into your being, your belly. You can feel this heat, this warmth, this vibrancy. And then you want to exhale. 2. Now this is when that voice comes to you. This is when that voice begins to say, I'm here. Where are we? What are we doing? This is trying to disrupt you. This is where you call out and you say, I hear you, I feel you, and I understand. Subconscious, I give us permission to rewrite the tape. Subconscious, I'm integrating with you. We're going to establish a link in our desire. No more just me on willpower. This is 2. And then 1, I want you to feel connected. I want you to feel safe. Feel the safety where your subconscious has risen up and there's no more question. There's no more asking. It's just an anticipation of answers. Answers bubbling up inside of your being, coming up into your head, your brain, feeling this answering situation that's bringing so much safety. And 0. And if you had your eyes closed, you can open them now. So this is a small exercise that I do every day to center myself for vision. 10 seconds. Well, maybe when I'm talking, maybe a minute. Because I do like to ramble. But this is the way to reseat yourself inside of you, where we can begin to find that place of intimacy. And now we've got you to a nice relaxed state. So let's talk about some things, right? Let's discuss some stuff. Let's go into it a little bit. Somebody used the term when we were talking and they said, oh, thank you, Bodhisattva. And I was like, what the heck? Why are you using this term as a reference to me? And that was my subconscious responding with insecurity, saying, well, how can you be anything other than who you are? And what is this Bodhisattva anyway, right? And then I started to understand, and I said, wait, hold on. This is about awakening. This is about the essence of being. This is about the understanding, being motivated by compassion, generating spontaneity and spontaneous dialogue to help other people obtain benefit and become sentient. It's okay. It's okay to be referred to as terms of endearment. But that subconscious reared up its little head and was jumping on this bandwagon of betrayal from before, from ages 1 to 8. And you see, the subconscious does this. The subconscious is one of the very things that actually tries to sabotage inadvertently the will of what you're doing now. And it's not sabotaging on purpose, it's doing it unknowingly. Because the subconscious was programmed from 0 to 7, and it's bringing this beautiful tape player in its mind of what you learned and what you were nurtured to and to be. And here you are trying to betray it and teach it something through the willpower that it's like, no, I don't want to do that. And because we've been ingrained thinking that willpower alone will stop it, that's why it's so hard to quit smoking and other things. We neglect the intimacy of self. The intimacy of self is beginning to see that you're multiple aspects in one being. So we kind of overlook things. We overlook certain things. Now, when we're talking about intimacy, we're not just talking about husband and wife intimacy. We're talking about closeness, affinity, attachment, familiarity, affection, anonymity, amenity, warmth, confidence. We're talking about cozy. We're talking about, yes, also lovemaking and things like that, but not in this term. Now, I wanted to talk about, there's a couple things. Your vibration has a big play here, right? Your inner dialogue. Because your inner dialogue is either reflecting or objecting to the subconscious programming. Now, if you begin to do mantras and meditations, and you begin to listen to subliminal tapes and self-hypnosis, and you begin to do tapping and rewriting the subconscious programming by allowing these beautiful events to take place in your body, then you can begin to use willpower as an intricate source to intertwine that. And any rope that's braided is much harder to break. So, if you're going through something right now, and you're down and you're feeling disconnected, right? What I'd like to do is give you a couple of things that will help you. Number one is a bad thought equates bad feeling. Okay? So a bad thought equates bad feelings. If you're feeling something wrong and bad, if you're feeling disconnected and you destroy yourself through this connection, willingly or unwillingly, if you begin to dice and dissect who you are and you say, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I did that. Think of it. So you've literally just, you were bouncing on the diving board of destruction and you just took a high dive and landed in the pool of let me get some pain. I mean, you get that, right? You can feel it. You're like sitting there and you're like, I am like hip deep in the pain pool right now and I'm suffering. What the hell happened? I don't know what happened. Well, it's because you went from a thought or a terminology or a suggestion that wrong and bad. And it's not that you're always looking for sunshine to shove up your ass. It means that you have a chance and choice. Somebody asked me, they were like, oh, why are you always so happy? You can't always be happy. Bad things happen. Well, hell yes, they do. But you know what? A bad thing can happen, but I don't have to build on the bad thing by dwelling in it, on it, and bringing it to the forefront by giving it more fuel. Everything is a choice. My voice speaks because I make a choice that's conscious and unconscious. Now, if I'm setting myself up for self-destruction by the subconscious tape that's playing, that's giving me this blah, 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 you're bad, you're unworthy, you're this, because I learned that when I was little, and my will is trying to work that out, well, okay, so the subconscious creates a situation. I fail, I fall, and I can sit there and say, I failed and failed. And I'm not fooling myself to say, yeah, hey, you know what? Bad shit happens. Get up, dust yourself off, you keep going. It doesn't mean I'm trying to shove sunshine. It means what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a continual balance. Okay? I'm not trying to live in a state of happiness, because I know that's impossible just to be happy all the time. Even the Maitreya is not going to be happy all the time. Even Yeshua turned the tables over at the tax center, right? He's tossing tables and shit. Was he happy then? I doubt it. I doubt it. Come on. So we have a balance. We have to go through our things. You don't think after turning over tax tables, he didn't look back and be like, shit. Man, I did that, didn't I? I really did that. So you go through it. You work it out. But through the course of working it out, you can decide, do I want to bring a knife to a gunfight, or do I want to be equally equipped? So do I want to say, you're right, I had something bad happen, I just failed, I just effed up. Now I'm going to follow up with, well, you suck. Everything you do is a mistake. Everything you've done is a mistake. You're unworthy. You've been this way since childhood. Don't want to follow it up with that kind of rhetoric. That's not feeling it. That's not sitting in it, right? That's not the place of observation of what your feelings are and what you're sitting and seeing. So don't confuse those two. You are going to meet that with a balanced mindset. So you're going to wrap that net of negativity up, and you're going to balance each negative thought with a positive one. At least that's going to improve the situation, improve the perception. Yeah, I failed. And yeah, I've failed many times in the past. But every day is a new day. I feel that I'm working towards a better self. I feel that this isn't a failure because it was formed by me before I came into the flesh, and I understand there's a lesson that I'm learning here, and I'm growing. You see, it doesn't have to be sunshine. It can just be a rationalization of moving forward. New self-direction, right? Somebody gave me avocados that weren't ripe, but at least they were free. They'll ripen soon. See how I'm saying? So don't depreciate yourself. Don't debilitate yourself when you're at your downset, right? Another thing you can do is, if you're feeling bound up, if you're feeling a certain sadness inside of yourself for a situation, you can alleviate that, kind of like a pressure cooker has the nozzle on top that releases the steam so it doesn't explode. So how do you release steam so you don't explode? Well, if I'm feeling sad because a relationship's going wrong and I'm not able to cry in that relationship and I've got tears and I've got sadness inside of me and I don't want to sit with it because I'm kind of trying to deal with it, one thing I can do is to bring out the sadness of the tears. I could watch a movie maybe All Dogs Go to Heaven, or something like that, or something that's about human affairs or dog affairs, or something that's emotional, that pulls out emotion, that's going to be a similar emotion but not based on the subject matter that I'm dealing with. Like if I lost my dog, I'm not going to go watch Old Yeller. I'm going to watch maybe The Notebook to feel like love and to release the sadness if I'm having a hard time sitting with it. If it's bound up inside of me and I can't access it, that's a good way to do it. It's like an aid to an ally to being able to move through it. Places that are inspiring will help you to become... So as you're doing visualization therapy to create your safe place, you need to have some cool places that you've been outside in situations, by a lake or by a river, by a stream. Water is really effective. Outside seeing something, maybe it's the zoo, I don't know, whatever works for you. Get there and go there at least once a week. Get outside so that you have real connection to this invocation of a visualization therapy, which you're using hopefully every day to settle into the subconscious and to allow that repetition and mantra style of elevation to happen in your life. So that way you're connected. You're not just trying to manifest, like I'm manifesting trees. I haven't seen a tree in 6 years. What does it look like? Then you're going to be confused because your logic side is going to be battling the imagination side, and your head brain is going to be all distracted, balancing it out. So get outside, hug a tree, do something that's going to invigorate that and involve that, right? Disconnect from social media. I say unplug to power up, power down to power up, right? Don't let social media become your source for intimacy and self. Don't let social media become your only way of, like, your looking glass, how you see the world. Surround yourself with good people, treat yourself gently, and when in doubt, journal it out. And here's what I like to do to increase my levels of self-intimacy. I like to journal, and I'll journal it down when I'm in that mindset where I need to write. I just write and don't predict what I'm going to say. I do it for 15 minutes. And then I will wait until I'm happy the next day in a moment where I'm not even thinking about what I wrote. And I'll sit down and I'll read that. And I'll reflect on that with a good, clear mindset of observation. And I'll say, okay, so I was feeling this way. Well, let me dive into that for a second. Why was I feeling that way? Because we're not trying to repress emotions. We're not trying to say, okay, so you're never going to feel sad. You're never going to feel depressed. You're never going to feel like you're not good enough. All those things are going to be constantly affecting you because it affects all of us. If the neighbor down the street is pissed off and he drives down the street really fast, it's going to affect me. Well, I'm not pissed off, but he might almost hit me or hit my car or hit my kid, and that's going to directly affect me. His situation is he's going to swing his arms in my face, right? So it's going to make me part of his journey. So we're going to be affected cross-platform. And this is where I'm going to get into some stuff when I talk about later, that karma is the old paradigm, the duality, the dualistic male mindset overriding the female flexibility. We're moving into and away from karma into dharma. Dharma is a difference. Dharma requires joy to be at the base root of this, and a place to laugh at yourself. And we're going to be going into that. That's going to be the new paradigm. We're going to really explore that for 2018. And for, as I said, we're in a 9-year cycle, so we're not going anywhere. You're in it. So be in it to win it. And win it means to wake up. Understand and remember who you really are, right? You were created in the likeness and image of a divine source. It doesn't mean God looked like me. Doesn't mean God looked like you. It means that God created you in the essence and the likeness of divine. So was the tree. So was the dog. So was the cat. So was the squirrel. So was the bird in the air. So was the clouds. Everything is the likeness and image of God, because God is everything and all things existing at once. Oneness. That's where we get the Akashic communal cloud, right? It's like the cloud on an iPhone. The Akashic cloud. Boom. That's where your knowledge is stored for all of time. So, self-intimacy. These are tips that you can get if you're feeling down. Now, I wanted to just know. So, know thyself, to thine own self be true. If I want to love you, I've got to love me. If I want to experience joy with you, I should be able to experience some joy with myself. If I want to be introspective in a situation and love you and treat you like a beautiful person, I need to know what that feels like and looks like. So I need to include myself in all of these topics and all of these things. In the quest for meaning and happiness, I need to look at my multi-million-dollar self. You are the $6 million man or woman, and you are built by the highest being, and you are designed for that shit to go down. You are designed to pick up your boots and keep on going. You have been given the tools to tackle anything. That's why it says nothing will be given to you more than you can handle. When you will not dash your foot upon the rock. Right? All of us want to be happy. All of us want to be heard. All of us want to be living life to its fullest. Is that a given or what? You could be in a hut, like somewhere in Africa, and you want to be living life to the fullest. Now, that may look a little different than living in a high-rise in New York, but you want to have something beautiful in your life. You want to feel it, right? So, and if you're not intimate with yourself, if you're not experiencing this beautiful self-relationship, then you're going to get confused. And then you're going to abuse yourself. You're going to neglect the true you. So self-relationships, self-intimacy, are your conduit to your subconscious. Because the subconscious is holding that story, which is going over and over and over. It's your theme song in your movie, right? So as you're mulling over the best way to introduce yourself to yourself, that's where mirror work comes in. And if you haven't tried my mirror work, it's freaking free. What is wrong with you? Get your little booty on over to Divine Love Academy and dial down and get in. We've got master classes and all kinds of stuff that I just gave away. You didn't have no excuse. The only excuse you're using is I'm lazy. I'm looking at it, but I don't want to do it. I can't help you there, right? I can't help you with that. But personal intimacy is at the core of your own health, of your health with yourself, your relationships. It is the communication to the core of your soul being. And you are waiting on you, right? Let me say that again. You have been who you're waiting for. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You are who you've been waiting for. You feel that? Oh, damn. That's why I say the twin is within. Love starts in the heart, right? With every beat, every breath, your being is going to feel that self. So, are you giving yourself permission? Are you finding your personal sanctuary? Are you going to where the external world isn't going to weigh down on you? Are you finding a place to do meditation and mantra and mindfulness? I say mindlessness because it's like you don't mind anything because you're in a mindful state, the extreme mindful state. You got to go to this place at least 10 minutes a day. It's got to be ritualistic. This has to be your new religion, right? Whether it's getting a cup of tea, sitting down, having a morning ritual, looking out at nature, going over your mantras in your mind, becoming mindful of your situation, and then closing your eyes at the end of the tea and doing a little bit of meditation, right? These are ways that you start to create the relationship. You have to say, hey, subconscious, I give you permission. I give you permission. It's difficult. It's not easy discovering yourself. It's not easy discovering that you have a fear of being abandoned, or you have a fear of childhood violations, or you have hypersensitivity to criticism because your mom or dad criticized you. It's not easy. But are you going to allow this to keep you in prison the rest of your life, or do you want passion? So get to the real heart of the real issues. Journaling is very important. And what are you? Are you reflecting what you were or what you want to be? Because a lot of the thing that we forget the most of is that we manifest our own life. As I say, you speak what you seek. So this is the true pattern that you need to understand. It's not about the past patterns keeping you in prison. It's about the fact that you're speaking what you're seeking. So, again, I'm not shoving sunshine up your ass like a silly man. I'm telling you, if you're going through fire, keep going and try to splash some water on your face with some welcome words of encouragement. You feel? Don't let the abandonment and separation issues be the core of what you are at your being. Surrender and trust. Surrender and trust. If you can't trust yourself, you can't trust anyone else. If you can't surrender to you, how are you going to see someone else? Love yourself as you need to be loved, so that you can love others as you would love them, and have them love you. You tongue-tied yet? So this is a 30-minute or so podcast where we're getting down and dirty and we're disclosing things, we're feeling closer. You need to make time for those deep conversations inside of yourself. It's not wrong to talk to yourself, people. Do something that's going to break your routine. Shake that routine up. Like I did my 365-day challenge, doing something different every day. It doesn't matter if it's wearing a different shirt. Do something different, man. Shake that routine. Shake that. You're a pitcher of water. Shake that water up. See what's in that shit. Start working on cleaning that pitcher. Start working on filling it up. Peace, light, and love. I will see you on the other side.